super excited to share with you the next in our series, the sixth letter. We're on 6 already, can you believe it? The letter Vav. It has a value of 6, a gematria of 6. The pictograph is that of a tent peg. So you might think, what's the significance of a tent peg? That's small, tiny, what can that accomplish? The tent peg was the anchor of God's dwelling place with man. The tent peg made of bronze anchored this tent of meeting. And in Exodus 40 verse 34 and 35, we can see the significance of the tent peg as the word says that God's Shekinah, the Hebrew word for divine presence, filled the tent of meeting. And this enormous mighty cloud filled the tent of meeting, and no one dared enter it, not even Moses or Moshe, unless he was invited by God. The Vav has further significance in that it's already mentioned in the first verse of the Bible. So hear this. God discloses his salvation plan in the first verse of the Bible in the Hebrew language. The word is Ve'et, a Vav, an Aleph, and a Tav. And it's the word between heaven and earth. Heaven being Hashamayim in Hebrew, and earth being Haaretz in Hebrew. So the Vav actually completes the salvation plan, the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end of God's entire plan. And only through the Vav can this plan be completed. Therefore, God says in Titus 2:11, or the word says, Shaul writes in Titus 2:11, for God's grace, which brings deliverance, has appeared to all people. And this Vav, when he laid down his life on the stake for you and me, and he blew out his last breath and he said, it is done. The paruket, the curtain between the Holy of Holies and the Holy, was torn from top to bottom. So God opened up that you and I can perpetually enter into his presence, but only with Messiah. The sixth feast of the God's 7 feasts is Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur is the day of judgment, where God is going to judge man from east to west. And the only payment for this judgment, or the atonement for this judgment, is by blood. That's why Paul writes in Hebrews 9 verse 7 that whenever the high priest, you could only enter the Holy of Holies once a year on Yom Kippur, and he always had to take blood. And therefore Messiah himself entered the Holy of Holies once and for all, for you and me. And he took not the bloods of goats or rams, he took his own blood into the Holy of Holies, into the presence of divine God Most High, the Shekinah, so that you and I, by putting our trust and our faith in him, that our sins could be paid forever. Lastly, through the Vav, Yeshua, we are anchored in Yute Vave, Creator Most High. As John 14 verse 23 explains, if you love me, you will obey my commands, and my Father will love you, and we will come and make our Shekinah, our home, with you. Thank you, Vav, for fulfilling your purpose in creation.